So we have a wild Justin Baldoni versus Blake Lively update. Taylor Swift has ditched Blake Lively. You have no idea what you've actually said.
Blake Lively is in a full-blown meltdown after Taylor Swift decided to team up with Justin Baldoni. And honestly, can you blame her? The move blindsided her, unraveling the carefully curated narrative she thought she controlled, exposing her to public scrutiny and legal consequences all at once.
Swift had been threatened and blackmailed by Blake Lively.
Go public with your support for me, or I'm going to release all these text messages about it.
After allegedly trying to harass Taylor into backing her by threatening to leak a decade's worth of private messages, Blake clearly didn't see the karma train coming. Taylor's move in the latest court hearing wasn't just a slap in the face. It was a perfectly executed mic drop that left Blake scrambling for cover. And June 13th wasn't just a date. It was the day Blake Lively's painstakingly crafted fairy tale life came crashing down in the most dramatic way possible, the picture perfect. Hollywood darling known for her effortless poise and dazzling smile, watching her entire narrative unravel like a cheap sweater.
Teams is supporting Brian, Justin, and Wayfair and helping give them what they need to avoid more public drama, getting involved, subpoenaed, testifying, etc. Here, let me give you this, we'll give you this, back off. Are we good?
And who wielded the scissors? None other than Taylor Swift, pop queen, PR genius, and up until recently, Blake's ride-or-die bestie. She wants to work with Justin Baldoni, and Taylor didn't just walk away from their friendship. She chose to align herself with Blake's courtroom rival, Justin Baldoni, leaving Hollywood and the world at large absolutely gobsmacked.
She claims he sexual harassed her, and then by the time they premiered the movie, they weren't even speaking to each other. She made him stay in the basement, and Ryanreynolds turned on him too. And then she claimed that he unleashed a bad PR campaign against her.
Let's rewind a bit for those still scratching their heads. Blake and Taylor weren't just any duo. They were Hollywood's untouchable golden girls, painting a picture of flawless friendship, jet-setting to tropical paradises, posting heartfelt captions on Instagram, and epitomizing #friendship goals. If their relationship were a movie, it would have been titled Inseparable, the tale of two blondes who ruled the world. But fast forward to now, and their story has devolved into a chaotic sequel, Mean Girls Courtroom Edition. The courtroom buzzed with anticipation on June 13th as Taylor Swift stepped into the fray.
Information that Blake may have shared with her bestie, Taylor Swift. This information could be the end of Blake Lively.
Known for her fiercely guarded privacy, Taylor's decision to hand over documents to Baldwin's team wasn't just unexpected, it was downright seismic. These weren't random papers, mind you. Insiders described them as the kind of evidence capable of rewriting the narrative entirely.
Is there a line where Blake Lively says, I want to take this film from him because he's a jerk, I'm going to accuse him of these things?
Screenshots of late-night rants, cryptic texts, and perhaps even a receipt or two documenting Blake's alleged manipulations flooded the mix. The possibilities were endless, and the world was absolutely hooked.
Maybe Taylor Swift is privately supporting Blake Lively. Doesn't seem.
Blake, meanwhile, was navigating the court system, but the cool, composed persona she usually projected had vanished. Reports say she paced anxiously, like a contestant awaiting their fate on the final rose ceremony of The Bachelor, her nerves frayed, her legal team scrambling, and all eyes fixed on her as the carefully constructed cracks in her image began to show.
Blake Lively specifically going through the court system makes people believe that she is no longer working with Taylor.
To grasp the stakes, let's rewind a bit. Blake and Taylor weren't just friends. They were practically sisters, the kind of Hollywood duo everyone idolized. From glittering galas to sun-soaked vacations, fans devoured every moment, convinced they were watching an unbreakable bond unfold in real time. Yet behind the glossy Instagram posts and red carpet smiles, cracks festered that no filter could hide. Rumors began swirling. Had Blake Lively actually tried to extort Taylor Swift? The speculation gained traction as Blake's legal battle with Justin Baldoni intensified. Feeling cornered and desperate, she allegedly reached out to Taylor, hoping for support that may never have been her to claim.
Messages about, this long friendship between these two girls, and she knows the real Taylor.
But instead of a genuine appeal, Blake allegedly opted for a thinly veiled threat. Back me publicly, or I'll unleash a decade's worth of private messages. And these weren't your casual "what's for brunch" texts. Sources say they were emotional treasure troves, filled with confessions, grievances, and deeply personal insights the tabloids would kill to get their hands on.
Highly likely to have reliable information that Miss Lively requested that Taylor Swift delete their text messages.
Taylor, however, isn't one to be manipulated. She's built her empire on turning adversity into advantage, and this was no exception. Instead of bending, she stayed silent, and when she finally acted, it wasn't with words but with decisive moves that left no room for misinterpretation. Blake Lively, once accustomed to controlling every narrative, suddenly found herself scrambling, wanting Taylor on speakerphone when convenient, yet now in court claiming, "No, we don't need to see these text messages." On June 13th, Taylor handed a set of those texts to Judge Lehman, leaving Blake visibly frazzled. The Hollywood darling famed for her poise was now a bundle of frayed nerves, her PR team racing to salvage a crumbling image. Every attempt to cast herself as a victim of a smear campaign only underscored her desperation, making the courtroom drama a masterclass in controlled silence versus frantic spin.
She will be furious. She will forever be furious, which, by the way, sounds like it might be the next album from Taylor Swift.
Meanwhile, inside the courtroom, reports painted Blake as a woman teetering on the edge. Sources say she couldn't stop fixating on the documents Taylor had handed over, obsessing over what they contained. Were they proof of her alleged manipulative behavior? Evidence that she had used their friendship as leverage? Or something even more damning? The uncertainty was gnawing at her, leaving her visibly unsettled as the courtroom watched every crack in her composure widen.
Lively wants Taylor Swift on speakerphone when she needs her, but now in the courtroom she's saying, "No, we don't need to see these next."
Blake's desperation drove her to file motions trying to block certain texts from being admitted as evidence. While she framed it as a claim of invasion of privacy, the move was really just an attempt to staunch the damage. A futile, "nothing to see here," shouted while clutching a flaming torch. Unsurprisingly, this only intensified speculation about what she was so eager to conceal, making the courtroom and public alike more convinced that the messages held damning revelations.
It could be that Blake Lively spoiled her own evidence. It could be that Blake Lively deleted her correspondence with Taylor Swift and that she doesn't even know it exists.
While Blake was spiraling, Taylor remained the epitome of composure, treating the subpoena like any routine errand, somewhere between writing her next Grammy-winning hit and plotting her next world tour. Calm, collected, and completely unshaken.
He asked a judge Friday to close the door on discovery related to Taylor Swift in her ongoing legal battle with her It Ends With Us co-star and director Justin Baldoni.
Her statement to the court was understated, yet razor-sharp. "I'm not involved in Blake's mess," it implied without a word spoken. Still, her very presence alongside Baldwin's team spoke louder than any courtroom testimony ever could.
Subpoena to Taylor Swift, right? Or so we thought. Because there were tons of news. It's all the headlines. I was like, oh, the subpoena has gone out regarding this subpoena.
Taylor isn't just a pop icon. She's a master strategist. By siding with Baldoni, she didn't merely betray Blake. She surgically dismantled Blake's attempts to control the narrative, leaving Blake's team frantically scrambling to salvage what remained.
And I bet you there's a part of Taylor that's kind of like, yes, subpoena me, do it.
The courtroom drama unfolded like a scene straight out of a blockbuster. Blake's legal team seemed flattened by an invisible freight train, while Taylor's side radiated calm, unshakable confidence, filling the room with a tension so thick it could rival the climax of any Marvel movie.
It was just a lot of like Taylor Swift stuff going on. And then she did kind of the disappearing act, which is Taylor Swift's move when she's flying a little too close to the sun. It's her thing. That's what she does. Tree Payne, her savage PR person from forever, always knows when Taylor Swift is too close and Icarus has got to go.
Blake's meltdown kept unfolding in real time, with reports claiming she was whisper yelling at her team during breaks, while Taylor's serene composure only highlighted the widening chasm between them. The betrayal cut far deeper than business. It was intensely personal, leaving Blake floundering like never before.
The exact message that you have the subpoena. And why is that relevant? Because if there is proof that Blake Lively told Taylor Swift to delete text messages back in December when she first filed this lawsuit. Well, you only tell somebody to delete text messages that prove that the person in the other side of this case is telling the truth, right? So she's telling her to delete text messages that would disprove her narrative, that they not only like witness tampered, but also then tried to extort. And I love the fact that this is over the Super Bowl because it just shows you how vain Ryanreynolds and Blake Lively are.
Enter Brian Freeman, Baldwin's attorney extraordinaire, on March 18th, striding in like a legal rock star ready to steal the show. This wasn't just another day in Hollywood's endless drama. It was the moment Freeman decided to blow the lid off the entire case, and with pinpoint precision, he filed a subpoena that pulled none other than Taylor Swift herself into the whirlwind of this high-stakes legal circus. In Toro 19. But soon, he dismissed it, proving he always gets exactly what he wants, leaving everyone else scrambling in his wake.
Lively is so stuck playing checkers and trying to make up lost time and justify all this nonsense. And, oh yeah, that was really a win for us. Girl. Anybody who's paying attention knows you're getting destroyed.
And that's how the whisper started. March 18th alone was enough to set tabloids ablaze, as speculation about why Taylor Swift was suddenly dragged into the fray ignited like wildfire across social media and gossip columns alike.
Brian Freeman waits till the last possible second to possibly drop the hammer on what he actually has.
Could it be those alleged texts between Taylor Swift and Blake Lively that hinted their so-called sisterhood wasn't quite as solid as their matching selfies suggested? Hollywood insiders were practically salivating, while Blake's camp immediately went into full-blown damage control, insisting, "This is a misunderstanding." But was it really? Taylor made it clear she was not involved at all, a stark contrast to Blake's claims. And if you expected Taylor to show up sweating bullets or hiding behind oversized sunglasses, think again. On April 1st, she responded to the subpoena with her signature composure, delivering a courtroom statement so precise and measured it could have been lifted from a lyrical masterpiece. She complied fully as legally required, yet the subtext practically screamed, "Blake, you've officially lost me." And let's not downplay the power of Freeman's subpoena. It wasn't just a legal tactic. It was a calculated missile aimed straight at Blake's carefully fortified fortress of PR spin, exposing cracks and leaving her scrambling to salvage a narrative that was rapidly collapsing.
Baldoni's attorney, Brian Freeman, dropped the request for the subpoena, and the reason for doing this is very simple. They got exactly what they are seeking.
By pulling Taylor Swift into the legal battle, Brian Freeman forced a reckoning that Blake Lively clearly wasn't prepared for. Those explosive texts, allegedly filled with evidence of manipulation and betrayal, were handed over by Taylor without hesitation, making it abundantly clear she was not on Blake's side. Meanwhile, Blake's reaction was frantic, her legal team practically overheating their laptops in a desperate scramble to file motions, trying to block the release of the texts. Their argument? A gross invasion of privacy. Sure, Blake, because that's exactly what everyone was concerned about amid the chaos of your unraveling narrative.
No doubt both Justin and Blake's PR teams are working to make sure the truth. I do believe Justin's team is doing well, but they're also sharing the truth. There's nothing retaliatory or lying about any of this.
Not about protecting privacy. The real issue was damage control of the highest order. Whatever lurked in those texts had Blake twisting herself into legal pretzels worthy of Olympic gold. If the rumors hold any truth, the messages don't paint her as an innocent victim at all. Instead, they allegedly reveal someone who's honed the art of weaponizing friendships like a master manipulator. While the public adores Blake's on-screen charm, behind the cameras, the story reads less America's sweetheart and more mean girls in designer labels.
Public documents are the ones where it's believed that Taylor Swift's father shared evidence that Blake Lively was trying to extort Taylor Swift into going public.
Blake didn't stop at filing legal motions. She went full-on drama queen, accusing Baldwin's team of manipulating the media and trying to cast herself as the scrappy underdog facing a Hollywood Goliath. Cute story, but hardly believable when it's the same Blake Lively allegedly dangling private texts over Taylor Swift's head like a twisted sword of Damocles. The irony stings harder than one of Taylor's diss tracks. Blake's used to having everyone wrapped around her perfectly manicured finger, calling the shots as Queen Bee, but now, faced with someone who won't bow, she's lost. Enter Taylor Swift, calm, collected, and treating Blake's antics like an overblown soap opera. While Blake flails with the victim card, Taylor's practically filing her nails and humming, unbothered. You need to calm down.
Blake Lively respectfully submits this letter motion for a protective order regarding the Wayfair party's continuing demands for Miss Lively's communication with Taylor Swift, made again yesterday.
Blake's frantic attempts to save face might play in a rom-com, but in reality, the public isn't buying it. Her carefully curated persona is unraveling faster than a plot twist in a poorly written Netflix thriller, and honestly, watching her scramble is almost too entertaining. Taylor's courtroom maneuver wasn't just a legal tactic, it was a masterclass in public relations. By aligning with Baldoni, she reinforced her image as someone who values integrity over loyalty to toxic friendships. Fans rallied behind her, applauding her refusal to be cornered or manipulated, while even neutral observers couldn't help but admire her poise amid the chaos. Taylor didn't just step away from Blake. She made it abundantly clear that she wouldn't participate in anyone's games, leaving Blake desperate to craft a counter-narrative. Blake Lively's PR nightmare is now in full swing, her reputation plummeting, and the public shows no signs of sympathy.
Blake, what are you doing? Disney's mad at you. Taylor Swift's mad at you. Was this really worth it? All because what? He called you sexy? This is an embarrassment, guys.
Blake is now facing accusations of trying to exploit Taylor Swift for clout, because honestly, nothing screams desperation like dragging a global pop star into your personal chaos. Reports suggest she attempted to ride Taylor's coattails for public sympathy, only for it to spectacularly backfire. The irony is almost cinematic. Blake, once the queen of polished perfection, is now embroiled in a scandal that no Instagram filter can fix. Adding fuel to the fire, some fans have claimed Blake has been quietly mimicking Taylor for years, from aesthetics to friendship dynamics, turning whispers into full-blown gossip storms. It's like a real-life Mean Girls scenario, but with A-listers and millions of dollars at stake, and whether true or not, the narrative has latched onto her like a persistent bad hair day on the red carpet.
First of all, I want men to stop asking the question, why do women stay?
Yeah.
Right? I want men to take accountability. I want men to hold other men accountable.
So, where does this leave Blake? The long-term fallout looks brutal. Recovering from a PR disaster of this magnitude isn't impossible, but it's an uphill battle. Can she reclaim her title as Hollywood's golden girl, or is she destined to become the ultimate cautionary tale of celebrity missteps? Only time, and her next PR move, will reveal the answer. Right now, it's hard to tell whether we're witnessing a courtroom drama or the most dramatic reality show Hollywood has ever seen. The lines between personal and professional are so blurred they might as well be gone. Friendships are weaponized, texts have become evidence, and the industry's glossy surface is cracking to reveal the chaos underneath. Taylor Swift, despite not being central to Blake's claims, has become a pivot point in this saga. This isn't just about money or power, it's about influence. Taylor's involvement, whether deliberate or not, has transformed this lawsuit into a full-blown media circus. Slap Taylor's name on anything, and the clicks, views, and online debates skyrocket. It's the Taylor Swift effect, and every angle of this legal battle is now being amplified by it. Both camps are navigating the fallout carefully, aware that public perception can shift in an instant, and that in Hollywood, influence often matters more than truth. Blake's carefully curated image is under siege, and every misstep is now magnified. Meanwhile, Taylor's strategic silence and selective involvement highlight the power of precision in high-stakes celebrity conflicts. In this environment, every text, every document, every social media post becomes a weapon or a liability. The stakes aren't just courtroom rulings, they're cultural, reputational, and viral. And as the public watches, one thing is clear. In this battle of influence and perception, only those who can master both will come out unscathed. Hollywood's golden rules are changing before our eyes. Friends, feuds, and fame are all intertwined, and Blake Lively is now the cautionary example of what happens when control slips. Meanwhile, Taylor Swift remains the silent strategist, letting actions and legal precision speak louder than headlines. This isn't just a case, It's a masterclass in how power, loyalty, and influence collide in the age of social media and celebrity culture.
It's deranged. It's nonsensical. Like, fire the whole PR team. It's done.
And the media, naturally, is eating it up. Every filing, every cryptic post, every courtroom gesture is under the microscope, with reporters dissecting and amplifying every detail. But make no mistake, this isn't just reporting. It's narrative warfare. Headlines aren't just conveying facts, they're shaping perceptions, steering the conversation, and keeping audiences hooked. Whether it's Blake's PR squad desperately spinning a story or Baldwin's team subtly positioning themselves as the underdog, the media plays a dual role, commentator and participant. Each outlet carefully chooses which angle to emphasize, which leaks to highlight, and which quotes to magnify. Public fascination fuels coverage, and coverage fuels public fascination, a loop that both sides are trying to navigate. In a spectacle like this, every tweet, press release, and viral thread becomes part of the chessboard. The media doesn't just cover the drama, it magnifies it, contextualizes it, and, in many ways, controls it. In the court of public opinion, the journalists, bloggers, and influencers are both referees and players, deciding who looks sympathetic, who looks guilty, and who dominates the headlines. And with the stakes this high, every narrative twist counts, because in Hollywood, perception can be as powerful as the law itself.
Lively is continuing her delusional path forward, thinking that somehow she can get out of this lawsuit if she has just enough of the right PR and Hollywood friends on her.
And the bigger picture? This saga is peeling back Hollywood's glossy curtain to reveal some harsh realities about power, influence, and image control. It's not just about legal right or wrong. It's about who you trust, who you use, and how far people are willing to go to protect the life they've carefully curated. Friendships are no longer just bonds. They're strategic moves on a chessboard where every misstep can cost reputation, opportunity, or leverage. Every decision, every text, every court filing carries weight, and the stakes couldn't be higher. So, what comes next? Will Taylor's texts become public, reshaping the narrative entirely? Can Blake's team mount a comeback, or is her carefully built image permanently fractured? And will Justinbaldoni end up the unlikely victor, quietly navigating the chaos while others implode around him? One thing is certain, this drama is far from over. With legal maneuvers, media spin, and public scrutiny all colliding, the next chapter promises to be even more intense and even more revealing about how power, ego, and friendship collide in Hollywood's high-stakes game.
Reputation. This is about multiple people whose lives have been turned upside down, accusations that have been thrown out.
Stepping back, the bigger picture comes into focus. At the eye of this Hollywood hurricane is Blake Lively, whose carefully curated perfect image is coming apart at the seams. Meanwhile, Justinbaldoni is locked in, fighting to safeguard both his vision and his reputation amid the chaos. Taylor Swift, once seemingly a friend, now finds herself in the crossfire, her involvement a silent but decisive game-changer. And then there's Brian Friedman, the legal strategist orchestrating moves with precision, keeping everyone, Blake, Baldoni, and the media, on edge. Together, these players form a tense, high-stakes tableau where image, influence, and legal strategy collide in real time.
Swift is not central to Miss Lively's claims, unlike dozens of other witnesses.
This feud isn't just another juicy headline, it's a window into how celebrity culture is evolving. Gone are the days when feuds played out solely on tabloid covers or in passive-aggressive interviews. Now, disputes spill into courtrooms, with texts, emails, and social media posts wielded as weapons of mass destruction. Hollywood's landscape is shifting, loyalty and privacy are increasingly scarce, and even close friendships can be dissected, weaponized, and turned into evidence. PR teams scramble to control every narrative, but the chaos proves that the game has fundamentally changed. So, where do we stand? Who do you believe? Blake, allegedly hiding something behind her polished image, or Taylor, calmly turning silence into a strategic advantage? Will Taylor keep quiet, or will she drop her own bombshell? The court still has decisions to make. Those texts may soon be admitted as evidence, and the contents of Taylor's documents remain tightly under wraps. Meanwhile, public fascination shows no sign of waning. One thing is indisputable. This saga has permanently shifted the dynamics of Hollywood friendships, exposing the fine line between loyalty, influence, and self-preservation in a world obsessed with image. The drama is far from over, and every move from here on out will be watched, analyzed, and debated by the courts, the media, and the public alike.
The way that he has painted this does not really help the case when it comes to defamation. It's a very interesting argument. I will be very interested to see how the judge rules on this.
For Blake, this isn't just a legal battle. It's a fight for her reputation, her career, and her standing in an industry that rarely forgives missteps. Every move, every statement, every public reaction counts, and the stakes couldn't be higher for Taylor. It's another chapter in a story defined by resilience, strategy, and self-reinvention. She's shown that navigating high-stakes drama doesn't always require loud declarations. Sometimes, composure and smart moves speak louder than headlines. And for the rest of us, it's pure, unfiltered, popcorn-worthy Hollywood drama, real-life intrigue that's as captivating as any movie or reality series, reminding us why we can't look away.
Would probably end in settlement. I figured we would have settled by this point, but clearly that's not happening, and this is going to be a case that probably will not follow statistics. That's at least my opinion.
Adding insult to injury, public sentiment hasn't exactly sided with Blake. Social media, ever eager to pick a side, has been ablaze with memes and commentary casting her as the antagonist in this unfolding saga. Blake the Betrayer trended for days, with fans dissecting every move she's made since the allegation surfaced. Even her usual charm offensive hasn't been enough to reverse the narrative. Her carefully curated image as a relatable, down-to-earth mom and actress has taken a serious hit, and attempts to play the victim card have been met with widespread skepticism. For Blake, the road to redemption is steep. She'll need a PR miracle to repair her image, and even then, the shadow of this scandal may linger for years. Meanwhile, Taylor Swift appears poised to emerge stronger than ever, her trademark resilience and empowerment shining through once again. As for Justin Baldoni, his legal battle has taken on an entirely new dimension thanks to Taylor's involvement. Whether he ultimately prevails in court remains to be seen, but one thing is clear. This saga has already cemented its place in Hollywood history. Hit like and subscribe to the channel to stay tuned, because if there's one lesson from this drama, it's that the plot twists are far from over.